search for directions, my thoughts reflecting.
Yo, what's up everyone? Happy New Year. This is Oliver Nye. Hope you guys are enjoying an incredible start to a whole new year of opportunities. If 2019 was a sign of things to come, I'm very, very excited for what's coming in 2020 for myself personally, for this Big Bass Streams platform, with all the new content creators contributing to this channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to my new channel if you haven't already. You're going to see a ton of different content than what lives here on the Big Bass Streams channel. So appreciate you guys that have supported the brand. Appreciate you guys that have supported me personally. So shout out to you guys. We are here with a couple of new packages. So a new mail call. Got a big box from Ben at the Hookup Tackle. Shout out to Ben at the Hookup Tackle. We've got some new items from Affco. We've got a couple new things from Geigertech, and we're just going to jump right into it, man. If you guys have been paying attention to some of the stuff we've been doing down in Australia, the Risk It for the Biscuit tour, the Big Cod Dreams, Big Bear Dreams, and the sprinkling of pike and muskie and bass fishing that I've still been doing, there's been a lot of stuff going on. So hope you guys are enjoying it. Lots more to come. Like, to be honest, we've probably got through somewhere between a half to 2/3 of 2019 content wise, getting that up on the channel. So big up to our man DK Visions, Kevin DeWin, for taking on some of the editing load. Excited to see this team continue to grow as we get better at bringing you guys this hard to capture content. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, we're going to jump right into it. Got a nice big box from Ben at the Hookup Tackle. Shout out Ben, Happy New Year, brother. And it looks like he sent me a whole box of these. And what we have here is one of my favorite baits for 2019, especially the last part of it. This is the Megabass Megadog. Big topwater bait. It is a newfound favorite of mine, especially if you guys saw episode 1, maybe 2 by now, of the Risk It for the Biscuit tour. And if you haven't, click here for that video. But this is a big topwater, and what I love most about this bait is that it was engineered with big, angry, toothy fish in mind in the ocean. And as you guys will see through that series, a big part of why I do a lot of my interspecies and international fishing is because I really want to put these tools to the ultimate test. Because when I'm fishing for the fish of a lifetime here at home in the States, and I'm targeting a big largemouth, big stripers, big muskies, etc., etc., I want to have the utmost confidence that this lure, the hardware, the internal harness is all going to hold up. So if you guys saw, this is kind of a before, and this is what your bait should look like after you spend some time down under. Now, if you guys saw that video, everything on that reef and inshore ate this thing. It got absolutely mowed by big coral trout, 3 or 4 different species of groupers, big jacks. I got a GT on it. Every reef shark within a 50-kilometer radius. Now, I fished the stock hooks the first day and did okay, but after a couple of those big fish, and I'm fishing heavy drag, heavier drag than most guys are fishing, 80 or 100 pound braid to 150, 200 pound leader, and I blocked that drag down, trying to keep those fish from busting me off in the rocks. So when you put that much force, those stock hooks were tweaking a little bit, and I was having to bend them back and forth. So I went to these gnarly big trebles that I found in one of the local tackle shops there, and upgraded the split rings. But if you guys watch that video where I hook a coral trout and it just gets reef frenzied by a pack of black-tip reef sharks, you'll see where 2 or 3 reef sharks had each one of those hooks and was pretty much tussling and gator rolling and fighting each other, and they opened up 150-pound split rings. They bent out 5X hooks. I think these are 5X. At the very least, they were 3X. But, I mean, those are stout hooks. Most importantly, the swiveling hook hangers, the wire-through construction, and the ABS body of this bait is still intact. Like, that's crazy. So that gives me the utmost confidence that I can throw this bait and it won't fail me when another fish of a lifetime, hopefully a big largemouth, big striper, big muskie, big pike, comes up and eat this thing. Because if those Australian saltwater coastal fish couldn't destroy it, they destroyed the components, not the lure. This has also got a wire through construction. So worst case scenario, let's say one of those giant ridiculous fish actually managed to break this apparently really strong and durable ABS plastic, you'd still be attached to that fish and stand a really good chance at landing it. So big ups to all the Megabass engineers back in Japan. You guys built one heck of a durable lure. Alright, so I'm going to go through this box here and show you guys some of the standard colors that have been out for a while, as well as some new colors. This is the Shintaro Natural. Those of you guys that are fishing really clear reservoirs, gizzard shad lakes, kokanee lakes, Cisco lakes, like if you guys saw that bait fish pattern that I've been fishing in the Defiant, this is kind of right along those lines. It's got that greenish blue top, purple sides, translucent body, a little bit of a yellow underbelly. But if you look at that thing through the light here, nice, natural, great clear water option. This is a bait I would throw sunny days like this, with, you know, or partly cloudy days like this even. Anytime you guys got high visibility, that's going to be a solid color. Okay. And what else we got here? This is another one of the standard colors here. I think it's Waken Ochi Ayu. And I would call this more of like a shiner carp, barbel in Spain. This could be any number of rough fish with that brown, orange belly, nice gold side. Could be kind of a mullet inshore, nice carp option. A lot of different brown colored fish out there. So that's a good one. As you guys are going to see in the Risk It for the Biscuit series, there were 3 or 4 different species of mullet swimming around. So this one's really cool. Okay, and this one is the Urado mullet. Now, not only can this be an excellent mullet imitation, those of you guys that fish lakes with landlocked striped bass or white bass, or as they call them in Texas, sand bass, this is a great sand bass imitation as well. And especially if they're eating crappie, that's not too far off from a crappie. So don't get too caught up in the actual given names of these colors by the different brands. Look at it and judge for yourself, man. Use your own mind, use your own brain. Like, okay, yeah, that could be a mullet, but that could be a baby striper, that could be a little white bass, that could be this, that, and a third. This could be a bony brim. Just a great silver, really cool bait fish pattern with those horizontal lines. That could be a multitude of things. I mean, for the most part, those fish are looking at the belly of this bait, especially as it's thrashing and throwing a lot of water. And once in a while, they're getting a flash of the sides as that bait rolls and turns. So that's an excellent color scheme right there. Okay, we've got the Live Shiner. So this is more of a chrome version of that first color that I showed you guys. So anytime you guys want a little bit more flash, maybe a little bit lower light, you notice how the sun just kind of dipped behind the, you guys notice how the sun just dipped behind the clouds here? You might want a little bit more light catch. You might want to catch a little bit more light. So this chrome base on this color here on the Live Shiner could be a really good option. Or if you have stained water. Chrome and stained water is something that nobody talks about. And growing up fishing pudding stone, like that's a high percentage, high confidence deal for me. Alright, check out this color here. We've got Awashi. And I believe in Japanese an Awashi is a sardine. So you'll see that kind of turquoise, greenish top, purple sides, hints of yellow along the belly and the head. That should get bit really well here anytime you have a sardine as a forage base. Really cool. What else we got here? So Kono Shiro. I believe, is a type of shad-like, herring-like bait fish in Japan. This is really similar to that mullet pattern, but it's a little bit more yellow and a little bit more color on it. Not that far off. I'd probably lean towards this one in clear water. If you got a little bit of stain, want a little bit more flash, a little bit more color, the Konoshiro might be a good option for you. Alright, now let's get into the fun stuff. They just came out with a whole new bevy of US specific colors. MB Gizzard. By now you guys should know how much I really like this pattern for clear water, high visibility, green base, real subtle, real natural. That's going to be a player. Yes. Yes. This is probably top 5 for me. All-time topwater colors. And I'm stoked to be able to have it in a big option. Look at this beautiful thing. Oh man, sexy French pearl. Real high visibility bait for me as an angler. I can make a super long cast and track this thing visually and be dialed into this bait the entire retrieve. This is just a really good color. It's good in all situations, to be honest. Like, this might be one of the baits that I would suggest if you're just looking for 1 or 2 colors. Sexy French pearl is really hard to go wrong with, and especially on a giant bait like this, you can really see the detail. You can see that dark back and that pearl, so that sexy French pearl finish, and that the way that those colors transition as that bait's rocking, rolling, walking. That's cool, man. I'm stoked to put some teeth marks on this one. Alright, what else we got here? I mean, you can't have a big bait and not have a trout option, right? So those of you guys that are specifically fishing trout fisheries that have largemouth, smallmouth, muskies, pike with trout, this is obviously one of their favorite prey items. This is a stealth rainbow. When this bait first came out, it was pretty much developed for the Japanese and international markets. So the colors that you saw at the beginning, mullet based, sardine based, etc., etc. But to have freshwater specific patterns like this is it's inspiring. Like, I'm inspired to take out this little Dream Machine 1.0 that we're sitting in and go toss this around and see what wants to play. This is the time of year. It's January, it's cold, there's trout going in some of the lakes again, there's big predators trying to eat them. That is a great play on a rainbow trout pattern. A little bit of translucency. It's going to be great for clear water options. So everybody in California, the guys in places like North Carolina and the Pacific Northwest. I mean, there's a lot of places that get trout or bass live. It's really not that hard of an equation to figure out, guys. And that predator-prey relationship between those two species, when it exists, is something special. Alright, hey, and if one dope trout pattern wasn't enough, now we got a matte rainbow finish. So this looks like the same color scheme that's available in the 262 and 185 eye slides. So you've got a matte, non-gloss, non-clear finish, super pressured water, super high visibility, super clear water. This is going to be what's on the end of my rod if I'm throwing a big walking topwater bait. How sick is that? That's cool, man. You gotta love the artistry and the detail that goes into a Megabass branded item. Alright, last one. Psyched to have this as an option. This is also probably top 3 for me on topwater colors. Why do you ask that? Well, I'm big on matching the hatch, and especially from May through October when you have a plethora of smaller largemouth, smaller bass in the shallows, year 1 class, year 2 class, maybe year 3 class, depending where you are in the growth rates of your fish. But that is something that big bass will eat everywhere. That's a forage base that exists everywhere you are bass fishing. You look at some of the videos, the X-Pod videos, the Pop Max videos, the Diamante videos. I like throwing bass pattern baits. I always have, and I always will. And this might be one of the cooler options that I've ever seen. Nice gloss finish. Like, that thing just looks dope. Now let's talk about the Megadog as a topwater bait. This bait is really going to excel when there's some condition. And by condition, I'm talking about wind, rain, boat and prop wash. Anytime there's a lot going on and that environment is loud, you've got waves breaking on the shoreline if you're a shoreline fisherman, and you need a bait to create a presence. And that's why it was one of my top performing baits on the Risk It for the Biscuit tour on that coast of the Northern Territory, because we had big wind a lot of days, a lot of big current, and I needed to draw attention to the lure. So this outfished a couple of the other stick bait options I had. Nice big loud rattle. You guys hear that? Okay, and that big wide body, I mean, it walks effortlessly, and you can hit this bait really hard at the rod tip and get it to almost pop like a popper, and throw a lot of water and walk at the same time. There's just a lot of big disturbance going on. It draws the attention of big predators, and it really, really excelled in that big condition. So if it's flat calm, it's going to work great, but when it's really going to stand out is when you got wind and rain and outside elements. If you're fishing a heavy boat traffic lake, you know, where that first main lake point outside the launch ramp where everybody dusts off on and it's getting washed with a bunch of mud line, like this particular lure, the Megadog 220, is going to be a player. So hang on, have fun. There's a mod that I want to do with these baits that I'll probably share on my own personal YouTube at some point. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like I said before, it'll be different content than what you're used to seeing here. Alright, so that wraps up the Megadog unboxing. If you guys have noticed, here in the background, I've got a super dope net specifically for this boat here. And big shout out to Ranger Nets. They've jumped on as a sponsor of mine for 2020, and they shot me this custom net. This is a family-owned business based out of Detroit, Michigan. I believe it's second or third generation owned and operated now. All these nets are made in the USA. Support them. They're a dope brand, dope company. As you guys have seen through a lot of the content on this channel and coming on my channel as well, it's all Ranger nets on the Dream Machine. So we got those big musky nets. Those are all Ranger nets. The nets that we use on this bad boy, Ranger nets. So link in the description below. You can order them directly from Amazon. Take advantage of that free Prime shipping for you Prime members. And that's something I'm going to be talking about on my YouTube channel as well. I use Amazon and Amazon Prime as a big resource for a lot of the other accessory items that I use to bring these videos to you guys. So tune into that. And then check this thing out. Shout out to the American Fishing Tackle Company, founded right here in Southern California. This is a brand that jumped on as a sponsor of mine in 2019. They do a lot in this space, a lot in the industry. They give back to the game. 10% pledge of their profits go back to conservation, and they really put their money where their mouth is. And then this year, they're stepping into the fillet knife game. So as you've seen, We are stewards of responsible harvest. All right, we do like doing catch and cooks. We do enjoy eating some of these delicious game fish. So I do clean some fish on occasion. And now we've got, oh gosh, one thing I am not a fan of are these clam packages, man. These things are dangerous. I always feel like I'm gonna cut myself on these things. So, all right, here we go. That's probably not a good idea. Super sharp knife. Pop that out. Dude, this thing is sick. Affco really made their name in light manufacturing. I believe in the late 50s, early 60s, they made gaffs, flying gaffs, gimbals, roller guides, really technical-minded brand. Big in apparel now. You see a lot of the swag that I've been wearing for the past year. We've got face shields, got hoodies, we've got shorts, a lot of Affco technical stuff. So to have a technical knife here, and this looks like it's titanium coated German steel, 8-inch blade. That's a really popular blade style here in Southern California, especially in the saltwater side of things. When I used to be a deckhand back in the day, we cut a lot of fish with a similarly shaped blade. I don't think it was nearly as nice as this knife is. That handle's got some kind of rubber coating on it. Let's just read off of the package. So you're talking about a 4116 German stainless steel blade. That's dope. It's got that gold color. It's got that gold color that's iconic with the Affco brand with their gaffs and such. Full tank construction, so that blade goes all the way into this handle. Alright, upsweep blade design. So this gold tin PVD treatment also ensures some corrosion resistance, which is big. And this is textured polypropylene on the grip. It's going to make for a really solid, safe grip in wet conditions, which is obviously what we're dealing with. Blood, slime. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Comes with a sick sheath too. All you young fellas out there, all you young ladies, make sure you guys are using a sheath when applicable. It'll get you in trouble. You can buy a lot more fishing tackle. Keep yourself protected. That's cool. That's going to keep that blade safe. Looks like it's got a belt loop. All you guys that like rocking them on the side of your hips. Super sick knife. Stay tuned. Looking forward to cutting up some walleye, some perch, some trout, some rockfish, some sculpin, some sheephead, yellowtail, maybe some bluefin. Who knows? This thing is cool, man. Thank you, Affco. Appreciate you guys and your support. And then last but not least, as you see me sitting here in the Dream Machine 1.0, I came out here initially to install these new Geigertech mounts. So this is going to replace the old style mounts that we've been using. And if you notice these style mounts here, my biggest pet peeve with them is that in rough water, travel, anytime you got a lot of movement, this whole system here in my right has a tendency to move out of position, and I gotta fix it, blah blah blah. It really sucks. So we've got a rigid option here. Each component is machined from a solid piece, so once I lock it into place, it's not going anywhere. So that's going to be a really good upgrade for the Dream Machine 1.0. And that right there is going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is Oliver and I. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, Big Bass Dreams. More content coming at you guys daily. And subscribe to my channel, Oliver and I. I promise at least one video a year. There's a lot going on. If you guys like these Big Bass Dreams Yeti branded mugs, we still got a couple left up on the website. You find the link in the description below. New joggers are also in stock. There's a couple sizes left. And as always, we appreciate you guys. Do not be afraid to throw a big topwater bait when it's cold through the winter months. There's always shallow fish. And when you're throwing a big bait, your traditional ideas and conceptions go out the window. I've seen big fish eat big topwater here in California in December, January, February. Don't wait around till you see somebody else catching them on it, because by then you might have missed the window. Appreciate you guys. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Catch you guys later and have a great new year.
In search for directions, my thoughts reflecting.